This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
The greatest invention in the history of humankind was made in the Paleolithic, control of fire. This invention had a tremendous effect upon our development. Controlling fire enabled humans to live in cold regions, opening up huge areas of the globe to human expansion. Controlling fire gave humans an advantage over every other animal, for there is one behavior that distinguishes humans from all other creatures, and that is technology to control fire. Around a blazing campfire, humans were safe from hunting animals. Fire enabled people to render a great variety of foods edible. It took the stress of chewing raw foods off our teeth and jaws, allowing survival of the light, easily moved jaw needed for human speech. In time, fire made possible the smelting of metals and the combustion engine. Fire probably had a psychological effect, too. Humans knew they had tamed one of the terrifying forces of nature. As so many myths around the world tell it, for humans to control fire was a godlike act. By 500,000 years ago, this great leap in human capacity had spread throughout most of the human world. Evidence for it has been found from China to England. Unfortunately, anthropologists in general still have not recognized the significance that culturally based habitat fires have had for human adaptations. The central importance of such fires in hunting-gathering strategies is least of all understood, other than noting that fires were sometimes set to drive or surround animals. The historian Stephen J. Pine, however, has argued that Native Americans would have been seriously endangered had they not understood the effects of and used controlled fires. It is often assumed that the American Indian was incapable of greatly modifying his environment, and that he would not have been much interested in doing so if he did have the capabilities. In fact, he possessed both the tools and the will to use it. That tool was fire, without which most Indian economies would have collapsed. Over 50 years ago, Omer C. Stewart recognized the long-term influences that Native Americans had on natural landscapes and the significance of indigenous burning for both the social and biological sciences. His stance was a radical departure from the opinions of ecologists and anthropologists of the time. Stewart adamantly criticized the dismissal of this ancient knowledge as a valuable source of ideas about ecology. He added that ecologist observations of the natural environment and experiments spanned short periods of 1 to 5 years. Indigenous knowledge, by contrast, spanned centuries or millennia and could reveal innovative ways to combat destructive insects, weeds, and diseases, offer innovative uses of the native flora and fauna, and provide insights into advancing the fields of theoretical and applied ecology. Periodically, non-Indian people have recognized the tremendous value of indigenous burning knowledge. For instance, several acting superintendents of Yosemite National Park from 1894 to 1903 suggested to the Secretary of the Interior a return to the old Indian custom of systematically burning over portions of the forest of the park each year in the autumn. Although the significance of fire is now widely recognized and acted upon in national parks and other areas, the extent and importance of indigenous fire regimes are still largely marginalized. This book is Stewart's major work on hunter-gatherer uses of fire.